According to the National Academy of Engineering, one of the 14 grand challenges of the 21st century is restoring and improving urban infrastructure. American engineers are having to find a way to bring older urban structures up to modern codes. However, this process has led to the discovery of hundreds of smaller problems, both within the city infrastructure itself and the government's ability to actually implement these renovations. One such problem is that as the infrastructure of these areas improves, the property value in that area goes up, thus making it unaffordable for the current owners. The challenge of these engineers is to find a way to improve the infrastructure of these areas without going bankrupt, trying to incorporate these modern necessities, as well as trying not to raise the property value too much. Our group specifically chose this problem because it directly impacts our campus, as Cliff Apartments, Bates House, and Bates West are getting torn down in an attempt to improve the infrastructure on our campus. These buildings are in desperate need of rebuilding. However, the university's challenge will be to find a way to implement new dorms in these areas without losing high numbers of incoming students due to a lack of housing in the meantime.
The infrastructure problems of the world can no longer be ignored as it continues to affect all of us as people. In 1950, 70% of the world's population of 2.5 billion was spread around across rural areas. Today, 55% of the world's population of 7.6 billion are concentrated in urban areas. This urbanification of our society is overpopulating cities and causing more and more problems to our already degraded infrastructure. For example, without enough affordable housing in many of these cities with rapidly increasing populations, the amount of homeless people continues to increase. When it comes to the poor design of roads, motor vehicle congestion wasted about 6.9 billion hours of travelers' time and 3.1 billion gallons of fuel in just 2014. The mayor of Beijing, Wang Angshun, told BBC that in Beijing, millions of commuters have intensified the smog problems to the point that the city is not suitable for living. In terms of our water pipes, in the United States alone, 6 billion gallons of clean water are lost every day due to leaky pipes. These facts must be addressed as they affect all of us.
Urban infrastructure problems cannot necessarily be solved once. Even the best designed structures will need maintenance or repair over time. The national technological readiness to address this problem is not a matter of whether we have enough material or knowledge of how to construct infrastructure. It is more concerned with the methodology necessary to reduce the negative social, environmental, and economic impacts. Each project, being unique in its location, specificity of the problem being addressed, and the social impact it will have, makes it impossible to use a one-solution-fits-all approach. A prime example of how influential the method of implementation can be is Henry Ford's assembly line. He was using the same material, the same people, the same design, yet his method of production saved a substantial amount of time, space, and money. And so, the national readiness to address the problem of urban infrastructure rests on the shoulders of methodologists, answering the questions of how to make urban development most efficient.
To tackle overcrowding, consolidation of space is paramount, but it's important to maintain healthy space for any given individual. Our solution to this involves the development of a variety of multifunctional buildings, which aims to maximize the utility of any given property and hopefully even generate a new sense of community. These multifunctional buildings will be integrated structures which combine housing, commercial/retail spaces, food production, recreation, and healthcare services into a singular complex. Essentially, micro-communities are being created in buildings, which will increase internal sustainability of the city, in turn reducing the dependence on imports and travel and traffic. As equally important as multifunctional housing spaces are, multifunctional industrial buildings. Industrial buildings and factories are important to a city's economy and socioeconomic structure, so integrating them to be recreation areas while preserving their original functionality is extremely important. Bjarke Ingels has already done this with a waste-to-energy plant in Copenhagen by providing a second functionality as a ski slope. Combining the idea of integrated buildings with adjusted modular building methods can provide a long-term solution to the problems associated with updating cities to new technological developments or needs. Modular buildings also have a reduced cost of building. For example, outdated units or substructures of buildings can simply be removed and replaced without altering the rest of the building.